Gowdy gives FBI mental cavity search, discovers 3 dirty secrets they tried to hide, by Dan Lindsay, Politics US News, for MadWorldNews.com. South Carolina Congressman Trey Gowdy just gave the corrupt FBI a long overdue mental cavity search and came out with 3 dirty secrets that the Bureau was trying to hide. Gowdy always says the things people don't want to admit, and you don't want to miss this. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Trey Gowdy isn't known for beating around the bush or sugarcoating the truth, which is why so many of us miss him when he leaves Congress. We'll miss him. According to Daily Caller, Gowdy appeared on Fox News America's Newsroom with anchor Bill Hemmer to perform a mental cavity search on the corrupt FBI and their past leadership. The interview took place on Wednesday, March 7th, during which Gowdy presented 3 very hard truths that he discovered. The great thing about Gowdy is that you can count on him not to cater to anything or anyone except the facts. The first of those facts that the Bulldog brought up was the undeniable need for our do-nothing Attorney General Jeff Sessions to appoint a second special counsel to investigate the FISA abuse, which took place inside both the FBI and Department of Justice. This was the second time this week Gowdy made public his demand for Sessions to appoint a separate special counsel, which the Attorney General has so far refused to do. The Department of Justice has a conflict, so they should not conduct this investigation, Gowdy told Hemmer. Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General, doesn't have access to non-DOJ employees or those who have left the department or the FBI, so he can't do it. It needs to be done. It needs to be done by somebody your viewers have confidence in. And I've been reluctant in the past to call for special counsel, but this is a unique fact pattern, and I think a special counsel is the only entity that can do this effectively. Let's just take a quick listen instead of repeating everything he's going to say.
They want a second special counsel. They want to investigate what they believe are abuse of the FISA law. House Oversight Committee Chair Trey Gowdy saying the problem may simply be too big for the Inspector General to handle. Congressman Gowdy is with me from the Hill now. And sir, good morning to you. And we spoke last evening. Thank you for coming back.
Yes, sir.
What are you specifically looking for in this?
A neutral arbiter that has access to all the witnesses. The Department of Justice has a conflict, so they should not conduct this investigation. Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General, doesn't have access to non-DOJ employees or those who have left the department or the FBI, so he can't do it. It needs to be done. It needs to be done by somebody your viewers have confidence in, and I've been reluctant in the past to call for special counsel, Bill, but this is a unique fact pattern, and I think special counsel is the only entity that can do this effectively.
Yeah, what do you think happened here? What's in play for you?
Bill, I got to confess to you, I am biased towards law enforcement. The FBI agents I worked with never evidenced this kind of bias or animus towards even a bank robber, much less a presidential candidate. I don't know what happened with these 2 particular agents, and I don't know why the Bureau would use opposition research in a court filing and they didn't bother to vet it or investigate it. You can be a fan of the FBI and still be troubled by what they've done and want to understand better how and why it happened, and that's where I am. I don't have a war against anybody in the FBI. I got a ton of friends that are still there, but these are legitimate questions. The FBI cannot investigate itself. Michael Horowitz can do some of it, but not all of it, and I think we need a woman or a man with an apolitical law enforcement background to get to the bottom of this, so your viewers can then go back to having confidence in institutions of government.
So what you're you want to figure out what was happening in the days leading up to the election and during that period between the election day and the inauguration. Do you also want to know and reopen the Clinton email matter? And if so, you do not?
I do not. I have colleagues that do, in fairness to them. I didn't sign that letter, that request for special counsel. Whether or not I agree with that charging decision, it's been made. And practically, you can never go in front of a jury when the nation's top law enforcement officer, Jim Comey, would be defense witness number one. You just have no prospect of winning that case. So I am disappointed that they made their decision not to charge her before they even interviewed her. I am disappointed in the way the investigation took place. But that ship has sailed, and I don't think you can go back in this fact pattern after what Comey has said and have any chance of prevailing in a court.
Now, do you believe in the FISA court still?
I do.
You do?
I do, Bill, for this reason. There are police officers who make mistakes on search warrants and arrest warrants every day across our country. We don't throw out the process. We don't throw out interviewing witnesses. We don't throw out searching houses. We get rid of the bad actors, but we don't throw out the process. The process has worked. This is the first conversation you and I have ever had, this fact pattern about FISA, even though it's been around for 2 decades. So it's not the process, it's the actors who were involved in 2016. And I think we got to be mindful to identify those folks who did not do their jobs properly. But don't throw out the entire process because we got a handful of bad actors.
Yeah, I saw the letter last evening. I assume it's in the hands of the Attorney General now. Does Jeff Sessions owe you an answer or not?
Legally, he does not owe us an answer. Practically,
so
I think
could this go nowhere, this request?
I think whenever you have the chairperson of Judiciary, Bob Goodlatte, who's a very measured, cautious, well-respected member, when he calls for something, when Chuck Grassley calls for something, when Lindsey Graham, all of whom are fans of the Department of Justice, when folks on your own side are saying you need to take a look at this, I think Jeff Sessions will take their perspective seriously. I think he will communicate to Chairman Goodlatte at some point whether or not he's going to do it. He doesn't owe us an answer legally. Practically, it'd be wise for him to consult.
Sir, thank you for your time.
Well, as you can see, Gowdy doesn't want to look into the Clinton emails. There you have it. I mean, look, I don't know what's going on. You can never go in front of the jury when the nation's top law enforcement officer, Jim Comey, would be defense witness number one. You just have no prospect of winning that case, he said. So I am disappointed. They decided not to charge her before they interviewed her. I'm disappointed in the way the investigation took place, but that ship has sailed, and I don't think you can go back in this fact pattern after what Comey has said and have any chance of prevailing in a courtroom, Gowdy added. I mean, does that make any sense to anybody? Trey Gowdy's ability to tell hard truths such as these is what makes him unique among his congressional peers. Once again, the bulldog from South Carolina reminds us that in an age of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. Yeah, I'm not saying he's not telling the truth, but again, he's withholding information because Jeff Sessions was hired to do a job. So he does owe the American people, all right, legally. So, okay, so he's obstructing justice. How about prosecuting him for obstructing justice? You know? I mean, he was hired to do a job and he left the country in a state of turmoil, you know? So I don't go along with everything Gowdy is saying. I don't agree with all of this, you know? You can't leave the whole country in turmoil when you were hired to do a job. Either step aside and let somebody else get in or do the job yourself, unless you want to be prosecuted. That's basically what I think. Because now they're talking about Comey and he's saying let Hillary Clinton go off because Comey didn't prosecute her then. That has nothing to do with anything. The email scandal should be prosecuted. I don't understand this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.